Hey guys, Marsling here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to start the showcases for the 5 units that EZA'd from the Heroines Edition Extreme Z Battle. Obviously they have to call it that because it's not Peppy Gal's Extreme Z Battle, because Pan is on there, and Pan of course is not in Peppy Gal's because she's too young. So I haven't link leveled her because honestly, most of these units that got their EZAs, they've all become pretty solid units, but for me personally, obviously having a very stacked box, I can't really imagine that I'm going to use them that much. Well, you know, we'll see. So Pan, she does supreme damage to the enemy, raises attack and defense by 30% for 6 turns, so you can get a few stacks off of this, which is nice. And then she has attack and defense 120% at the start. Then she gets a chance of evading enemies' attacks 15% at the start of each turn, up to 60%. So on her 4th appearance, she'll have a 60% dodge chance. She gets 3 ki and an additional 120% defense for 7 turns from the start of the turn. So basically, once the dodge is built up, then you lose out on some of the defense. So obviously it's timed so that once that extra defense runs out, her dodge is then going to be maxed out. So she's going to have a 60% chance to dodge. If I had to redo her hidden potential, I definitely would give her a little bit more additional. I think I gave her 6 dodge. I definitely put 3 of those into additional, because obviously if she double supers, this ability stacks multiple times within those 6 turns. So we are going to run her on a GT Heroes team, so we're running her under a full 170 lead. We've got her linked up with B-Pan. She shares every single link except for Kamehameha, and so you can see she has 171k defense at the start of the turn, with no support, because we have GT Vegeta in slot 3, who only shares GT with Pan links, Pan characters. So yeah, so that's 171k before she supers, so she's going to get a 30% raise. And then, of course, we are going to have turns where we have support. Once we get this Vegeta off onto the other rotation with the physical Goku, we are going to have a support unit floating in every single slot. So 1.2 million on the attack. He absorbs Ki Blast, so we don't do any damage, but 1.2 million is not bad. Obviously, this Pan is built to be a more defensive unit. And it's quite interesting because this rotation with her and B-Pan, obviously they link super well. B-Pan is, of course, a very strong defensive unit that also has that heal. So I could see how in some of the more difficult content, they obviously could be quite useful. The only problem is, like, GT Heroes is a very stacked team, right? Like, if I'm taking GT Heroes into, let's say, for example, GT Heroes, when it eventually gets its own stage of Super Battle Road, B-Pan, I would say, probably has a good chance of making that team. But then, like, who else do you take off of, like, one of the best sort of GT Heroes builds you can make to put on this STR Pan? And yeah, she's not on Peppy Gals because the Pan units are not on there. So Goku Family, again, I mean, Goku Family obviously is one of the most frequently buffed categories in the game because we constantly get new Gokus, let alone Gohans, Gotens, and combinations thereof, Bardoks and stuff like that. The Goku Family is a massive category. I mean, when you just do a one-to-one comparison with the Vegeta Family category, both of them obviously have very good units, but the Goku Family far outweighs the number of, like, top tier units than Vegeta Family. Although Vegeta Family has had some good buffs over the last, like, year. But alright, so turn 2 with support, we're starting at 250k defense, and we've only got 1 super off, so we still have multiple stacks from her super attack effect. Giru gives Dragon Ball Seeker's allies, is it 40%? Yeah, 40% attack and defense. So yeah, 250k pre-super. So obviously the idea would be you go ahead and put her in slot 1, you have B-Pan in slot 2, so even on the off chance, like say you are in a more difficult event, if Pan in slot 1 gets super attacked, potentially even with type disadvantage, like 250k defense is very good, but in something like Extreme Super Battle Road, you're not tanking a super attack for double digit damage, especially type disadvantage. But she'll still tank reasonably well even in that kind of situation. And then you have B-Pan comes in slot 2 and obviously heals based on the damage that she does with her super attack. So the 2 units together obviously are a very powerful defensive rotation with that little bit of healing thrown in as well. So they're not going to be the most damaging rotation. And I think that, again, harkens back to this point that, like, GT heroes is so stacked. Like, are you going to run this rotation of the 2 pans over, like... Because we've got the GT Super Saiyans on this rotation. So are you going to run the pans on the other rotation instead of, like, the EZA Super Saiyan 4s? Or, like, you know, one of the LR Super Saiyan 4s and in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, for example? Probably not, I would imagine, in most content. So I can kind of see them having uses in events, but just, like, yeah, there's just so many units that do what they do, but better. Because, I mean, like, this AGL Trunks and Goten on this team, one of the most ridiculous, like, side banner units, they don't even have an EZA. What are they at? See, defense-wise, obviously they're lower because they haven't stacked, like, as much. But these guys, multiple super attacks, they're obviously putting out way more damage. Now, on paper, like, at the start of this turn, Pan has 300k defense. This is her 3rd appearance, right? So she has a 45% chance to dodge as well. And she's still going to be getting stacks on her super attack. So that number is still going to be higher next turn. So, unless we don't have a support. Oh, no, we have our rotation set now. So, we have a support unit on every single rotation. So, the main part where she's lacking is damage. Because, as you can see, 1.6 million with a support unit on the rotation. Not the best. So, again, that's where GT Heroes kind of... I wanted to show her on this team because she's under a full 170 lead. We have a really good suite of support units that we can run to, like, boost her up. But... I think this rotation you're probably going to run on something like Dragon Ball Seekers, right? So if they add like a Dragon Ball Seekers mission to any of the like say the Legendary Vegeta event, or when the Dragon Ball Seekers stage for Super Battle Road comes out, then this rotation is going to be looking very, very good. Because obviously remember the main leader for that category is the GT Trio, who share some links. And so a very like pan-centric team, those units are going to fit on there very nicely. Some of the other GT units obviously fit on that team very well as well. I mean, again, like a lot of the categories are just going to have probably just a lot of better options overall. But this unit is still very, very good. I would imagine, like, because the Peppy Gals EZA, I saw a lot of people commenting on the team building guide. Not a lot of people found it particularly difficult. There are a lot of free-to-play Peppy Gals units as well. So if you're on a newer account, I guess the grind to get B-Pan is quite long, but if you're on a newer account and you pull this Pan, she potentially could be one of the better units on your GT Heroes team if you've not got as many of the units to play with. But obviously coming from the viewpoint of somebody that has basically every unit in the game almost at this point, I have like every GT Heroes unit, so I'm obviously kind of spoilt for choice. Now... These guys, yeah, they don't have Kamehameha. So is this going to be her final? Yeah, 3. I think her attack stat didn't go up, did it, on her additional super on the previous turn. So I think she's at the max stacks from her super attack effect. So with support, she's at 364k defense with 60% chance to dodge. Now, the reason why I wanted to try her in a longer form event like this, like obviously in Super Battle Road, for example, you're probably not going to get to the turn where she has... where she has 60% chance to dodge, because it's her 4th appearance. So by that point, even if she's come in on turn 1, you're looking at like turn 7, and you've probably finished most Super Battle Road fights by then. But her defense and defense on super is obviously going to be very good. I mean, the dodge chart starts off at 15%, so that's still decent. But yeah, I mean, there you go. We don't dodge that super, and we already have the 60% chance to dodge. So RNG will be what it will be. And if she gets tagged by a super attack in like Extreme Super Battle Road, it's definitely going to do a solid amount of damage. But yeah, I mean, her defense stat is incredibly high. You can't argue with that. And for these longer form events, I wanted to try her out here because once we get to that point where she loses that defense, it'll be interesting to see what her defense goes down to. She's still going to have that 60% chance to dodge. So... obviously, in any of the really difficult events where the last phase cancels out dodging, then I would say it's pretty much like, it's pretty obvious that she's not going to be useful in that kind of event, because once that defensive buff from her passive runs out, you're relying on that defense chance. Like, it'll be interesting to see what her defense is going to be, but obviously it's going to be nowhere near as high as before, and so potentially a bit too dangerous to run, depending on the content. But like I say, Extreme Superpower Road, you know, you're probably never going to get to the point where her passive has run out. So very good defense, chance to dodge. I think she can be very, very useful. She's just not on a ton of teams that need the help. Like I say, I really think that Dragon Ball Seekers is probably the weakest team that she's on. And even then, that team obviously has a lot of very strong options. Look at this Goku with 8.1 million attack stat here to finish off the tiny sliver of health that this guy has. Crit for just a casual like 5.3 million damage, you know. You know how it is. So let's see, we're on turn... What turn are we on now? 10. So I think... Wow, yeah, so after her passive buff has worn off, I believe, because it's dropped by like over 100k, but she still has 250k defense. Because if we double check her passive, yeah, 7 turns from the start of the turn, and she was on turn 2. So I guess the turn counter thing always confuses me, but I think she's lost her passive now. Because I've heard some people say that like the units, it will count the turns that the unit is not on, right? So if we're on turn 10, then technically it's been longer than 7 turns, but she hasn't been on rotation for 7 turns. So yeah, you have to let me know down below in the comments. I'm sure somebody out there is having a good laugh at the fact that I've been playing this game for almost 2,000 days and making videos for like 3 years, and I'm still not entirely sure how that works. I don't think I've ever mentioned it before in a video, so there you go. I exposed myself. But yeah, if it has actually run out, the fact that she's still got 250k defense, I would say that apart from, like I said before, if the last phase cancels out dodging, that probably still makes her viable enough for these longer events. Like 250k defense is kind of like the standard now that we want to see like Dokkan Fest units getting up to, like after they've super attacked and stuff. Not necessarily when they're, you know, like Rainbow full level 10 links, but 250k defense is still very solid. So we'll see what her defense is looking like at the start of this next turn, and then we will finish up there. We're getting the Dokkan attack with GT Goku, so this is going to be an absolute slaughter here. 7.2 million. If we hit all the no's, oh yeah, it's going pretty slow. So full damage multiplier. We've got type advantage. So yeah, Ice Shenron gonna have a bad time on this turn. So yeah, let's see how much damage we do. Hopefully we can get the crit so we can see a big number in terms of damage. Crit. 13.35 million. That's pretty good. That's quite a bit of damage right there. Alright, so we got type advantage now. We got Goten and Trunks here for the buff. I remembered to bring these because I finally remembered that I'm going into an Infinite Dragon Ball History stage that disables your... that could lock you in place, which is the mechanic I hate the most in the game. Yeah, see, now we've gone down to 200k, so her passive has definitely worn off at this point, and she's still getting the stacks from her super, because those will start to wear off as the 6 turns go by as well. So 200k defense, and then she's still going to get a defense raise on this super attack. So defensively, she's still pretty good. Now, obviously, in this particular stage, I thought doing Shadow Dragons would be pretty appropriate. Obviously, in the final stage, I'm pretty sure the Omega Shenron is AGL, so I would still be a little bit worried about her taking a super attack, but... not only is her defense solid, yeah, she's dodging, taking double digits with the type advantage. B-Pan comes in and gets a little bit of a heal. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think of the EZA for STR Pan. Like I said, I think she's really good, but just where are you going to use her, really? Like, you guys let me know what you think. What team would you use her on? What would your build be like? Let me know down below in the comments section. And obviously we'll be getting the videos done for all the other ones coming out, so keep an eye out on that. Let me know if you tried them all out already, which one is your favourite. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.